Welcome everybody to the Creativity Kitchen with National Tea Day. I'm Diaz Ayub and we are cooking up a storm today. With me I have, and also, beyond the beverage, tea can be so exciting. Whether you're creating cocktails, mocktails, or using tea as an ingredient, we are going to bring to you some inspirational recipes to help you understand the versatility and the breadth of opportunities that are available with the humble cup of tea.
Today's edition is dedicated to all things festivities, showing you how you can use tea in the kitchen this Christmas.
Without further ado, let the infusions begin.
So the first recipe in the Creativity Kitchen is going to be one that keeps us awake throughout the weeks, the run up to Christmas. And that is, Marco?
Why the turkey, of course.
So we have such a treat for you guys today. It's our 24-hour linden flower infused turkey crown. So what is linden flower, I hear you all say? Linden flower is by Nazani Tea. Nazani Tea offer premium luxury herbal teas, and linden flower is the most beautiful, soothing, herby flavour. It really, I can't think of anything better to marry up with a lovely, rich, gamey, organic turkey crown. So, the ingredients. Here is the beautiful linden flower, as you can see here, reminiscent of a dried herb. We have some lovely chili, some garlic, some lemon, some agave nectar, and some soy sauce, and of course salt and pepper. What we're actually going to do is create a 24-hour immersion by way of creating a brine. So before we start, let's create the brine. So I'm going to just add in the lemons into this bowl here. Into that, we're going to add some garlic, one sliced chili. Now you can add more if you prefer it a little bit fierier, but I think one chili really complements the herbs without taking it to that overpowering space. What we're going to need is roughly 5 grams of the beautiful linden. Now I actually make tea all day, so I roughly know how much 5 grams is, but please do measure it out. Although if you do put a little bit more in, it will just make it more intense, more rich, more flavoursome. Now what we're going to do is add a tablespoon of agave nectar. Now that will really help the brine and help absorb the turkey whilst it's immersed for 24 hours. So my personal preference when using water as an ingredient is to actually have it filtered. It takes out the chlorine, any harsh, nasty taste that you don't want in your food. I would recommend that you use a filtered jug. So just add the water slowly into the brine. And now into this, what I'm going to do is add around 4 tablespoons of soya sauce. And then what we do is add some rock salt. Remember, this is going to be immersed for 24 hours, so you do want a lovely salty flavour in there, and it really helps bring out the warm composition of the linden flower. And of course, cracked black pepper, just to add to the savoury tone. Now don't worry, you've got the agave in there that will help give it a bit of a sweet tone as well, so you don't just get a savoury and herbal flavours. There we go. So there's your brine, guys. All that's left to do really is to give it a good stir, get all those flavours immersed, get all of them mixed. There we have the 24-hour brine. What you can see here, guys, is a pre-24-hour soaked turkey crown that has been sitting in this lovely brine for 24 hours. Now it's obviously taken the flavour. All that's left to do is to transfer this to a baking tray. So all that's left to do now is obviously, once you've transferred your turkey crown into a tray, get a glorious organic butter and rub this on the skin. Now this is really, really an important process, because what this enables you to do is retain the moisture within the turkey. Now it is quite a tricky affair. What you just have to do is really just spread this out. I mean, you can use a brush and melted butter, but I feel that this way is slightly more rustic. And what you'll obviously need to do is, throughout the cooking process, is keep coming back and basting it. All that's left to do now, Caris, is to add a lovely layer of salt. You can use Himalayan pink sea salt or rock salt, whichever you prefer. Now this is really, really important as well because it adds an element of crisp onto the skin. Fabulous. So now what we're going to do is put the lovely turkey crown into the oven. The oven has been preheated at 200 degrees Celsius. And what I'd recommend is that you cook the turkey for around about the 45 minutes mark on the 200 degrees Celsius, and then take it down to about 175 for the remainder of the hour and 20 minutes, and you will get a lovely, crispy, yet juicy turkey crown. So for those of you who didn't know, and why would you know, the lovely Caris is actually a vegan. So we just could not exclude having a vegan option at our lovely festive meal. So what we're going to be making today, guys, is a vegan cauliflower cheese bake. Now, what we're going to be using is potatoes, potato skin, carrots, cauliflower, roast onion, roast garlic, a smoked chili, and almond milk. We also have some yeast. Is that right, Caris?
Nutritional yeast.
So this dish, guys, is almost reminiscent of as if you were using a traditional oak smoked cheddar cheese. We have picked out a delightful tea to actually infuse this dish with. It's actually the Amber Rose Ancient World. Marco, tell us about this tea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amber Rose Ancient World contains 6 incredible ingredients. It's an incredible tea, which is the perfect complement to the range of flavours going on in this dish. It has a black tea base with a lapsang souchong layer and a green ginseng oolong layer as well. In addition to that, there's also Persian rose and jasmine infused into the tea to give an incredible range of flavours, which make it a perfect accompaniment to this dish.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can appreciate, we're not using cheese because this is a free-from dish. So what we wanted to find was a tea that had body, it had a smoky overtone, but that wasn't too overpowering. So when you infuse it into your sauce, you almost get that notion of a creamy cheese sauce without the cheese. So first of all, what you want to do is just boil the cauliflower. Now, I actually like my cauliflower al dente. You can actually steam it if you like to, but I think around about the 4 to 5 minute mark, immersed in boiling water, is going to be quite enough to get the cauliflower to a texture that we'd like. Add some salt. Fab. So we'll just leave that for around about 7 minutes. Now, in the second part here, as you can see, we have the potatoes boiling. Now, to add a little bit more depth of flavour, and actually all of the nutrition, in my opinion, is actually held in the skin, I'm going to add in the potato skin. I'm also going to add in carrots with the skin. So again, boil this for around about 8 to 10 minutes until everything is soft. So what we've done, guys, as you can see, we've strained our cauliflower and just laid it out into a tray. Now, the next stage, Marco is going to add the lovely boiled potatoes, potato skin, and carrots to a blender. Now, if you just have a look over here, what we've done is we've actually taken back some of the water from the potato because this is the liquor that we're going to actually use to infuse the tea. So now the fun begins. We are ready to infuse with our Amber Rose Ancient World tea. So as you can see, this water is pretty much boiling. Now what we want to do is just take it off the heat, just as you would whilst making a cup of tea to drink. And we want this to be quite rich, but not too overbearing. So I'm going to add around about a tablespoon and 3/4 to this. Now what we'll do is just give this a lovely little mix and let this infuse for around about 5 minutes before we add it to the main mix. So guys, now that this lovely, glorious, fragrant liquor has been brewing for around about 5 minutes, we can actually strain this off now. Here we go. Wow, look at the colour. So you've got the starch from the potato and the carrot. You've got the lovely richness of the tea, the Persian rose, and there we are. A beautiful liquor that's going to actually create such a lovely smoky feel to the cauliflower bake. So just before we assemble the lovely creamy rich sauce for the cauliflower bake, there's one process that we need to talk to you about, and that is the charring of the chili. Unfortunately, where we are today, we just don't have a gas fire, so I'm going to be a little bit naughty and show you how to char on a candle. All I'm trying to do is just achieve a lovely black, smoky flavour to the chili. And there we are, job done.
Now that we've got the tea infused mixture together, I'm going to pour half of this into the blender. Diaz has just put a chili in there, and then we'll put the roasted onion, the roasted garlic, the nutritional yeast and the mustard in as well, and then mix it all together. So now all that's in, Diaz is just going to pop in some almond milk. Just before I give it a final whiz, I'm just going to pop in some salt and pepper as well to give it some flavour and seasoning. And Diaz is squeezing in half a lemon as well. So we're just going to give it a final blend, just to make sure everything's mixed in together.
So all that's left to do now, guys, is add this. Wow, Caris, how nice does that smell? Amazing. This glorious tea-infused, vegan-friendly, creamy sauce onto this gorgeous cauliflower. Now look at that. I mean, this is actually making me want to go vegan too. Doesn't that just look like the most indulgent, delicious, cheesiest of sauces? And now the most exciting part. Let's get this bad boy in the oven. Now we're going to put this at around about the 180 mark, and this is only going to take 25 to 30 minutes, but do keep an eye on it. All you want is a lovely golden brown top, and then you're ready. So Christmas dinner can be rather heavy and rather indulgent. So what we decided to do was create a starter that was light, fresh, floral and zingy. So if we take a look here, what we're going to be creating today is an Ahmad tea, green tea with mango and lychee infusion. And we are going to be creating a lovely light salad with asparagus, cherry tomatoes, prawns, avocado, watercress, white onion, lime, and organic pressed rapeseed oil. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is actually create the green tea, mango and lychee oil infusion. Now, we've all heard of adding tea to hot water, but this is the first, adding tea to hot oil. So what you'll need to do is actually wait until the oil has actually reached 70 degrees Celsius before you can start the infusion. Great, now it's at 70 degrees. What we're going to do is add in the lovely Ahmad tea bags. So we'll add in 3 of these into the oil. Now, I recommend that you can actually leave this to infuse overnight to really draw out the green tea flavours as well as the mango and lychee. However, it will be ready after an hour, but after 24 hours, you just get more of a pungent and potent dressing. I've been dying to say this line since we started. Here's one I made earlier. So this has actually been infusing for around about 30 hours. I'm just going to take out the tea bags now. So the oil actually forms the bulk of the dressing, guys. Obviously we need to just add a few more ingredients to this just to bring this to life. So the first thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of salt, a squeeze of lime, and there we have the dressing. Now to assemble. So all that's left to do now, everybody, is actually bring this lovely, fresh and glorious salad together. So first we'll add the watercress, voila, the cherry tomatoes, the asparagus, the lovely, creamy and delicious avocado, finely chopped white onion, and of course the shrimps. Now use pre-cooked shrimps because they're just as easy in absorbing the flavour. You can actually use raw shrimps and cook them yourselves if you prefer. So now we're just going to give the salad a lovely mix. Get all of the the ingredients mixed up together evenly. What a beautiful colour, huh, Marco?
It looks delightful.
And it's such a lovely salad to start off your Christmas dinner with, something light, something fresh. And all that's left to do now, guys, is adding the Ahmad green tea, mango and lychee infused rapeseed oil. Now moving on to everybody's favourite part of Christmas lunch, dessert. We have something really special for you today. It's called Sherlock Holmes Christmas Mini Puds. Now I can hear you all saying, why Sherlock Holmes? And that is thanks to Chash, the fine tea company, who have developed this beautiful blend called Sherlock Holmes. It's actually a mixture of English breakfast, Assam tea and Lapsang souchong. As you can see here, it's a very delightful loose leaf mix, really, really aromatic. Now we're actually going to use this as an infusion in the brandy to actually create some really spectacular, really divine and smoky, chocolatey mini puds. So for the ingredients, we're going to be using half a pre-bought Christmas pud, some milk chocolate, some white chocolate, some glazed cherries, and some brandy. Now, if you wanted to make this vegan, you can actually use dark chocolate too. So the first thing to do, guys, is actually make your Sherlock Holmes infused brandy. Now, I would recommend actually that you do this the night before, because you really want to intensify the taste through the brandy, and you really want to be able to taste the smokiness of the lapsang. So we're going to go with 2 very generous tablespoons of the Sherlock Holmes blend. And to this, we're going to add a glug of brandy. Well, some might add a glug. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more than a glug. Whoops, the daisy. Is that nearly the whole bottle? Oh well, there we go. What you don't use in the pudding, you can take and have it in a glass with a bit of lime later. But there we go. So now this is infused. I'm going to leave this for 24 hours. So let me show you this, guys. Here, this is the brandy that has been infusing in the Sherlock Holmes for over 24 hours now. And you can actually smell the sweetness of the brandy, and then the smokiness of the lapsang really balances it out. It's actually such a delicious aroma. So the first thing to do is actually strain off your brandy into a mixing bowl. Look at that glorious golden smoky tea infused liquor. Isn't that just splendid, guys? So the next thing we're going to do, guys, is just add in half of this delicious Christmas pudding here. So what we'll do is we'll just literally break it off and crumble it in. Like so. So rich and sweet. You can see all those fruits and those currants in there. It just looks absolutely delicious. Now, sometimes Christmas pudding can be a bit sweet, so this added smokiness of the tea really helps neutralize the sweetness and helps provide a really balanced, well flavor. So as you can see, the beautiful milk chocolate has been melted, and it's going to just get added straight into this gorgeous, delicious mixture. Now here's the part where Marco gets his hands dirty. There's no better way than doing this hands-on. So what you need to do is just combine the mixture and bring it together. Get the brandy, get the chocolate, get it all coated. Wow, so Marco has been working this mixture for a couple of minutes, right, Marco? And it's actually the perfect texture now. What you want it to look like is almost as if it's a wet dough. And that's it. You don't want to overwork it. That looks about ready to me. Ready for the next step. Great, so now we're going to all come together and help do this and speed up the process. So what you need to do is just get a small amount, guys, of the beautiful mixture. Very simple. Give it a small roll, not too firm. And there we go. Guys, so as you can see, we've all attempted at symmetry here. Not quite, but I'm sure they're going to taste just as delicious. So we've just got a few final touches now for the Sherlock Holmes Christmas mini puds. Here we've got the lovely melted white chocolate. So literally it's just a case of drizzling. So what we're going to do is Drizzle the white chocolate over. Really just want to get a good old coating as much as possible, really as rustic as possible as well. Now the great thing is, guys, that everybody will know they're handmade because they look so rustic, so you can really impress your guests this Christmas, huh? What are we doing, Caris?
So we're going to put some cherries on top.
Glazed cherries, actually.
Glazed cherries.
Yes. Just to keep it a little bit Christmassy, I guess.
It is literally the cherry on top.
And there you have it, guys. Sherlock Holmes Christmas mini puds.
So no Christmas party is complete without a cocktail. And today we're going to be making one with the Whittard's English Rose Tea.
Right, here. Cheers, guys. So it's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining our very first Creativity Kitchen with National Tea Day. We hope we really inspired you to take tea beyond just being a beverage. As you can see, we've created some delightful dishes. Please do comment below and give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and actually stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more creativity videos with National Tea Day. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week. Bye!